the purpose of my talk, I'm mainly targeting you app builders out there. I think probably the main thing we're lacking in right now in crypto in general, not just in Starknet, is killer apps. Crypto is very cool technology, but it's still like blockchain crypto still hasn't really made it mainstream. And I think the missing ingredient is killer apps. So I'm going to try and convince you, if you're trying to build a killer app, that you should do that on Starknet. And my main claim is that Starknet is the network of the future. And really, if you want to build something that will reach mass scale and be innovative, then this is the place to build. That's what I'm going to try and convince you of. The three pillars that actually set Starknet unique from the other networks are basically the best tech. It has the best UX, and it's the best community out there. And I'm going to describe all of these in a second. First of all, this is a bit about Starkware. We're the main team behind Starknet. There are a bunch of other teams in the ecosystem building it right now. We have a long track record of innovation, starting with Stark, which is the zero-knowledge proof protocol that Starknet is based on, but pretty much all of our competitors in validity proofs also use it today. We were the first one who actually built a production-grade prover that could actually do meaningful stuff. Back a few years ago, we were the first one who actually put a rollup, a layer 2 rollup in production. That was StarkX. It was an app-specific rollup. It's still running to this day, powering a bunch of exchanges. You probably have heard of DYDX, Immutable, Sorare. They're all running on StarkX. I think the cumulative traded volume on top of StarkX systems is over $1 trillion now. So it's very field-proven. It's been running around for several years at very high scale. We were the first ones who put a general-purpose validity rollup out there, Starknet, already 3 years ago. And the latest improvements from this year actually is our Circle Stark, which is the theoretical improvement in the Stark protocol that enables us to build a much more performant prover called Stu, which much better performance. I'll touch it later. And right now we've been just a couple of weeks ago, we were the first layer 2 on the process of decentralization, started with layer 2 staking. The next step, the thing we're already working on, it's probably coming next year, is actually making Starknet a layer 2 not just on top of Ethereum, but also on top of Bitcoin, which is something that we thought was impossible until more or less a year ago, but I think we have a good sense of how to do right now. Sorry. Okay, so one aspect of this being the best tech is actually performance. Our secret sauce here is basically validity proofs, or ZK proofs. And just very high level, how does that work? Generally speaking, blockchain's issue with scale is because to be decentralized, you want each and every full node to be able to run all the transactions just to verify that they're correct. And you want everybody to be able to run a full node even on a weak machine, which boils down to now you have to limit the throughput of the network so that every person could run it on the weak machine, run all the transactions. Now, ZK proofs or validity proofs are actually a bypass to that, because now you no longer have to actually run all the transactions to know that they're secure, that they're correct. You could actually verify a proof. That's what our protocol enables you to do, that somebody else has generated. And verifying a proof is a lot less expensive than running the actual transactions. That's actually the only way I know of to actually scale a decentralized system such as Ethereum, such as a blockchain, such as Ethereum. Pretty much all other networks, either they sacrifice scale or they sacrifice security and decentralization. So these are numbers from production, from Starknet. These are not from the lab. This is actual traffic achieved. And this is continuously growing because what I explained, because we're working hard at it. We're going to get over 1,000 pretty soon, and it's going to get a lot higher. In terms of cost, as much as I'd like to take credit for this, a lot of the decrease in cost actually came from a change that Ethereum did in moving to blobs. But again, from the same reasons that we're using validity proofs, we're a lot more efficient than other rollups out there, which you're going to see pretty soon. We're actually starting to see today when blob prices start going up. This is an example of basically we wanted to do a scale test. We want to do it in a fun way. So Cartridge, one of the main teams building on Starknet, actually built this game that was used by a bunch of Starknet communities. It was a month or so ago. The idea was mainly to do a lot of transactions on chain and see how high the scale could go. But most people actually noticed not the scale, but how Web 2 like with the UX there. I'm going to show you a short video of that in a second. In terms of scale, we actually reached for the entire day an average 127 transactions per second, which was the world record for a layer 2 and also for Ethereum as well. At the peak minute, it was actually 857 TPS. In terms of UX, I'll just specify one thing. Starknet is built using account abstraction, meaning all accounts are not EOAs, they're all smart contracts, which gives you a very big flexibility in supporting lots of different cryptos and lots of different features. I'm going to show you some of them. So back to Flippy Flop, which is the game that I showed you in a second. The reason it has very cool UX is because of these two features. One of them was Paymaster, which means that users can send transactions and somebody else, the paymaster, could pay for them. And also with another feature called Controller, which basically hides the wallet underneath the hood. So people could identify. I'll show you the video, it'll be simpler. So you see people want to sign in. Sorry, this is not Flippy Flop. This is. Okay, so people want to sign in, you just put your username. The user is not there yet, so you could register. In order to sign up, you could use any crypto. In this case, it was a fingerprint. Underneath, no need to write any mnemonics to install a wallet, nothing. You just use the Touch ID to sign in and you're in. And now you can play. This is like Web 2 UI. You don't necessarily even know that you're running on a blockchain. And this is due to those two features that I mentioned before. Another example, this is from a cool game called Influence running on Starknet. That used to be the problem with running on-chain games. They stopped all the time, asked you to sign transactions, which is not that fun. Now another feature we have here is a session key, which is also something that you could do using account abstraction. You basically authorize transactions for the session of the game, and then you don't need to sign anything. You just play. So these are just examples of how a more performant and innovative network could actually enable you to do more innovative stuff on the application front. There are other examples. I just gave you one of them. Other things you could do with account abstraction, you could use Face ID to sign transactions. You could set different limits, have multi-user accounts where multiple users need to sign, or depending on the amount, a bunch of different things you could see. Last but not least, even more important than technology is actually the community. And Starknet, I think, has one of the best communities around. These are some of the projects building on Starknet. It's from a few weeks ago, so there are more by now. Here I mentioned some of the key ones from India. And we have a bunch of activities going here in India in the last, I think, 3 quarters. We're zeroing in very much here on this country because there is a very high rate of developer talent here. And like I started, the main thing we need right now is people to build killer apps. We think we have the right infrastructure for that. But we've been doing a bunch of things like hackathons, builder houses, meetups, and we're going to continue doing that in the coming months as well. Wolfpack Lead is an initiative by Starkware to actually promote engagement, innovation, and creativity in the Starknet community. It already has more than 500 members. What they do is they actually get compensated for building stuff or creating content. You could see some of the members who've posted stuff. So you're highly welcome to join the Wolfpack Lead. It's a lot of fun. This is from one of the meetups we've done. Thank you. Just to all those here who participate in the hackathon. So these are a few details. We're also going to be around. We're going to be dividing some bounties for relevant projects. I'll give you the QR code in a second. We're going to have people around if you want to ask how you could use Starknet and get some help.